All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and a bunch of altcoins here as we're coming down into the 2-year key level once again for probably the 20th time over the last 6 or 7, actually like almost 3 months now. Essentially, we re-entered the range that we were ranging in from January 5th all the way up until about the 26th of March. And we did that pretty bearishly. We got rejected at our yearly key level, which was a major target we were looking for. And from there, right, we got a little back test here, but we basically re-entered this range and on a daily basis started closing daily candles in here, which signified that you were more than likely going to cycle through this whole range once again. We had a pretty bearish close on the weekly yesterday, a little hidden bearish divergence, closed a little bit beneath the previous weekly low. All things that just kind of point to that. Now the idea here at the moment is, we may, you're probably going to get a bounce here at some point. Well, at least that's what we anticipate, at least, right? Where we just came down to this almost 40K, this 24-month key level. This is a high time frame average of price. Between that and the range low, I mean, that's pretty much all we have below us at the moment. This range low has got a lot stacked up with it, right? This is a golden pocket, basically, of the entire move down. A couple other things as well. But yeah, just it's pretty crazy to see how we just kind of shifted straight through there. When we re-entered this range, we had a couple of levels we were peaking around at. We had a quarterly key level, a monthly key level, weekly NPOC, and a quarterly NPOC that we were looking at as far as getting down towards about 41,750. And we did reach that target last night. Didn't hold it, obviously. So the next one pretty much was our 2-year key level right here. I would imagine we're going to see some sort of a bounce here at some point. I know that's kind of vague, I guess. Well, we do have the range low basically just below us at about a $1,500 difference at this point. So to me, I'd rather just knock out the range low and continue on. Just don't know if we're going to get that quite yet. We might actually get a bounce even back all the way up towards this range high before actually, maybe coming back down and testing that range low. So just something to kind of pay attention for at the moment. That's Bitcoin, right? Like it totally, shit the bed, so to speak. Very technical. Like I said, came out of this range, basically, could not reclaim this yearly key level. This yearly key level is, to me, I mean, this is our line in the sand, to continuation to the upside. This is pretty much the one level that separates us from going back to 60K and then some. Once we could not hold that, not even flip it, right? These are just wicks on a 1-hour time frame. And then we re-entered this range pretty bearishly, like I said, a couple days back, really initiated, this whole range rotation here, back down towards the range low, about 38,000. And right now we came back down to our 2-year key level, right? So really looking for a reaction here. There's not anything that really has shown that we're going to just turn around from here. But at some point here, I imagine we're going to get some bounces out of the market here. I'm going to take a look at some altcoins, though, because as Bitcoin's coming down into this major area of support, which our range low is just below us, just like a few weeks back, right? A few weeks back, we were coming into range low, the same range low, on the 14th of March. And at that time, we had every altcoin, for the most part, was coming into range low on a high time frame basis. And it was pretty much across the board. So, I mean, you had similar, reactions up here as Bitcoin was coming into major resistance. We had all the altcoins reaching their range highs, their yearly key levels, their all types of just major resistances above for altcoins and Bitcoin all at the same exact time. So, yeah, it's pretty much it for Bitcoin, right? So, I mean, we're really looking for a reaction at this level right here. You really want to see this point of control reclaimed to continue on to the upside. And at the end of the day, you want to see, to get out of this range would be the ideal situation. I have to imagine we're going to come down to the range low at some point, whether that's right now or the course of today, tomorrow, or we get a bounce first and then come back down to it. This is it's very unlikely that we don't come down here at some point. And to me, I think it would be more, normal market movement here to see, a little push higher here over the next day or so, and then, possibly come back down and take that one out. A couple things to look for. And once again, that's just an idea. We can totally just melt right through here. But this would be an area that I would anticipate that we're going to come down to. We did leave a believe. We generated a new weekly pivot, right? So that's something that we were looking for last week, which we did come down to. Got our new weekly pivot up here about 43,700. So I imagine we're going to retest this area sometime this week. So it kind of just, leads into the idea. Once again, just an idea at the moment, right? Haven't gotten anything that really is leading us that way. Excuse me. To see possibly a little run up here, right? Come up, tag that weekly pivot about 40, almost 44K. Possibly even retest the range high, right? And come back up and get that, you catch a rejection right here, and then you could possibly just cycle the entire range once again. So that would be something to pay attention for here in the short term. And as far as some bullish divergences go, I mean, we got pretty much bullish divergence on almost every smaller time frame. Not necessarily, I guess, yeah, I mean, you could kind of make that up, I guess, to some degree. We had it on earlier. Oh, maybe we don't anymore. Okay. Regardless, we got like a little bit of bullish divergences on here, but either way, I mean, everything's extremely oversold at this point. Just to get a little relief rally would not be out of the question by any means. All right. Turn those off. Thoughts on Matic? I'm about to run through a ton of altcoins with you guys because they are all at amazing, short term at least, pretty decent entries in my opinion. So very similar to what we were literally just weeks ago. So anybody that missed those or anybody that managed to take some profits along the way up here, I mean, this is a really decent entry ideas here. So one of Cardano is one that we're looking at running into the range high. Back around that same time frame as Bitcoin running into that 47,000. And the two major areas I was looking for personally was going to be this point of control monthly open and then this quarterly key level about 96 cents. We're hovering around that right now. I assume that if Bitcoin does kind of track a little bit lower, we could even go down to the range low here, back down towards 83 cents. But this area right here, for a DCA standpoint, this would be an area. Obviously, it's under $1 as well for anybody that's a holder or anything of that nature. Snagging some more under $1 when it was just $1.30 the other day could be something up your alley there. Algo. Same thing, right? So, I'm pointing out that, as Bitcoin's coming into major support, we have a ton of altcoins. Doesn't mean they can't go a little lower. In the meantime, this is why, as far as like a leverage trade, short-term trade, those might get stopped out. But, as far as DCAing goes, maybe this goes another 5 or 6% lower. But you're coming into some major support here as we're coming into the Q1 range low. So this is 3 months of data right here. This is the range low for 3 months. And you're coming into that. We ran it up to the point of control, which was our volume. This is our natural target. Once we enter a range, ran up to that point of control, got the rejection from there. From here, I'd be looking for a return back towards this monthly open and this point of control. That would be our first major area, about a 30% move here. Then you got the range high after that at $1, so on and so forth, assuming that the market continues higher at that point, right? So this is just kind of the short-term idea here. Bitcoin recovers for a few days, a few weeks, whatever the case may be, before we come back down, or we take out that 38K now and the whole market just turns around from here, right? You never know. But these altcoins are at some ideal areas. Luna is the same way. Let me find Luna. It's not as fun without music. I know this looks a little busy here, but you can see, I'll just kind of hide these ones so it looks a little bit clearer. This is more of just a monthly, smaller range, not necessarily as high time frame as we were just looking at. But yeah, we came back down. We're at our yearly open area, our range low for last month. You do have the point of control back up here towards $93 range high, and then we've got our next targets up here basically after that. Do realize if we do lose this area though, we'd be looking back to retest the previous range, about $69. I just would imagine we would get at least a bounce back to this point of control first, if anything continues lower from here. But it's all dependent on Bitcoin, of course, in the short term here. H bar is another one, which we had anticipated that would cycle the entire range. When we were looking for this pullback out of Bitcoin 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago on Sunday, HBAR was another one coming into the range high, right? So we're looking for all the altcoins to really take like a 20 or 30% pullback across the board. And just about, all the large caps here, HBAR, what was it, Cardano we just looked at, DOT, Chainlink. I mean, pretty much everything's at least down 20 to 30% now across the board. So whether or not we go a little lower, obviously, is always a risk. But to each their own as far as your own strategy and your risk management. But just something to be aware of here is that coming into a major high time frame range as well. So this is a major area of support based on 3 months of data, and coming into that range low right now. So point of control is about 21 cents, monthly open, key level, so on and so forth. But HBAR is pretty much at the floor for once again, could go a little lower. Like these, it's not a guarantee you're just going to hold this range low, but you are down almost 30%, and give or take in this region, depending on if Bitcoin holds this, goes back from this 39K level. How far down do I see Bitcoin going? Well, in the meantime, for now, I mean, the low of this range, which we've cycled through multiple times since January 5th, is 38,400. Notice that we've deviated from that a couple times as well. So very, very likely we're going to come down to 38 area. It might not be right now, right? We've really had a nice just straight down situation here. So, possible to run it back up towards the point of control area. Like I said, there's a weekly pivot now that we're looking at right around 43.7, right? So maybe you get a little move like this next couple of days, and then whatever, tomorrow's CPI numbers come out and we get the last drawdown here. But that's an area that I'd be paying attention for when we come into that area to see the reaction. And from there, I mean, there's always room to go lower, but I would be looking for that range low to come in and then seeing the reaction off that area. Matic. I don't know if I looked at ETH yet, but we'll take a look at Matic and ETH real quick. All right, so Matic, same thing. Got a new weekly pivot up here, about $1.50, coming into our pretty high time frame range low as well. Very similar to all the other altcoins, right? And I say all, but a majority, especially the larger caps. So this is a pretty big area of support around this $1.33 mark. It's $1.35 right this moment. So once again, you really want to pay attention to Bitcoin in the near term here. It could be possible to run it back up to this, pivot, come back down to this range, depending on if Bitcoin runs it up for a few days, comes back down, hits that 38K. But regardless, you got the point of control would be that next target anyway, about 154, right around that weekly pivot. You flip that, I'd be looking for this monthly open. You got your yearly key level up here, and then ultimately your range high at about $2. And then from there, we'd reevaluate heading up towards the yearly open at 253. But right now we're coming into major support for Matic as well. Very similar to, so this area we've come down to on the January, if you want to call it a crash out of Bitcoin, the World War III pullback as well, like literally a couple cents lower. Our March 15th drawdown, and then we're coming back to the same exact area. So, something to be aware of is that we have hit this level a couple times, so we could kind of punch through it. But at this point, just as everything else in the market is just kind of pulled back 20 to 30% so far. This is 23. So, can we go lower? Absolutely. And once again, depending on how Bitcoin reacts at this point. But as far as your DCA strategy or anything of that nature, or whatever, this information, obviously maybe look into it yourself, of course. But yeah, for me, coming in a big area of support. So thoughts on Mana and hasn't. The biddy box. Yeah, the biddy box targets were met. And then we dropped it to the 2-year key level after that. So some good shorting days. So Mana is a good example here, right? That we had the range low, kind of fell through it a little bit. So at this point, depending on what you'd want to be looking for, I'm sure I could pull across a couple of other levels here. But realistically, you'd want to see some reacceptance into this range. So break it back in about 221, see some 4-hour candles closing in here, holding that in support. And then from there, we'd be looking back up towards this weekly pivot right here, about 241. We've got our point of control is going to be our natural target at 270. And then once again, paying attention for Bitcoin, see how things react in that aspect. But monthly open, monthly key level, you got your range high up here about $3, yearly key level right after that. So I mean, it's definitely in an area to pay attention for. Mana is also down 30%. So see these Bitcoin's down about 15%, I think, at this point. It might be down like 20 now. So the altcoins can go lower. Just keep that in mind, right? Especially if Bitcoin does drop it a little bit more here. So just be aware, but we are coming into some major supports across the board for the most part. Hey, Magic's in the house. Is that your new dog? Baloo? Take a look at the A's. Ave coming down to a monthly level. Got a point of control right below that. It is a little bit below us still. Not too much, 3-5%. So it really depends on how Bitcoin reacts here. Weekly pivot all the way back up here, 198. Range high, 182. Just do realize we did re-enter this range. Same deal, right? So you come down to this point of control. If we lose that, we're probably going to cycle through to the range low here. So ran it up to our year open, which is a major target up here. Once again, same time frame as Bitcoin is reaching that yearly key level. From there, we got the drawdown. Atom kind of falling out of its range here a little bit. So you want to really kind of look for it to re-enter that range at $26. From there, we'd be looking up. Got the yearly key level at 27. Our point of control on our weekly pivot coming in right here at 28. Let's take a look at Biddy. See if she's going for the range low. She wants it. Chick. Yeah, XRP, I think, is at the range low as well. Man, Bitcoin is just going for it. No mercy today. Fell out of the range. Good old XRP. Yeah, so we were in this range for quite a while as well. Obviously, this is the whole first quarter again. So you really want to see that reclaimed up here about 71 cents. looking down here, I mean, we've got basically little 69. Yeah, is I think Magic made a video on this where 69 cents, oddly enough, was the major support, the next one for XRP. So that's where we are with XRP. Oddly, hilariously enough, really want to look to regain this range low here. You got your point of control back here about 77 cents. Your pivot, this area right here has got a lot of resistance stacked up here, a little target if we can start heading back up from here. But yeah, XRP holding it down. Holding it down. H bar starting to lose that range low as well. Bitcoin's dropping towards that 38K level, so I imagine everything's going to kind of pull down a little bit more. But yeah, looking for H bar to pretty much regain the range low here. You got the point of control back in here at 21, weekly pivot at 22, range high essentially overall would be our overall target in the near term here. But once again, that's going to be assuming that the market continues higher. ETH, let's take a look at ETH. ETH was a big signifier for us a couple days back as we were coming down. So we had that bearish divergence building up pretty heavily over here as we were coming in the $3,600, along with Bitcoin reaching its yearly key level, struggling to hold. So we were looking down, and at the time we were looking at the previous weekly pivot, or at least I was, as one of the major areas to come down to. That was right here, about 3150. That's where we kind of came down to begin with. From here, we kind of been bouncing around. We've got our April open right here. Then we took it down another staircase, or I guess jump out the window, however you want to look at it. This 3-month level right here has pretty much been holding us up this afternoon. After that, we got our March open and our 2-year key level down here, which, mind you, Bitcoin sitting on its 2-year key level. We were kind of looking at this as a possible bear flag at the time. I'm not really going to draw it out. It's probably, could not even be accurate, but measured move would have took it down to this March open and this 2-year key level right here. And it's a beautiful fib time today, courtesy of Magic. Beautiful fib time. So for ETH, really looking for, thank you, Sheik. Really, once again, paying attention for Bitcoin to see how, the reaction is here. We got a 3-month level right here that's, been holding us up today at like 29. It basically is at 3K, actually. It's the gray level right there. Below that is a March open at 29.20. And then we've got our 2-year key level at 28.69. Assuming Bitcoin turns around for a bit, you probably get a bounce out of here. And then I'd be looking at least back up towards this area for the next major target area. But one thing to consider is we re-entered this range very similarly to how Bitcoin did. So you really want to get back out of this range to see that continuation to the upside. And we got some pretty big resistance up here with the range high and the yearly key level right here for ETH. So it took a lot of time to get through here the last few times we got through there. So just something to keep in mind. But Bitcoin, if the market completely turns around, obviously we'll probably push through a lot of these resistances for a lot of these alts. So everything is dependent on the granddaddy, on the old clunker. Just no mercy today. None. Okay. Bored of this? Yeah. What will happen in Bitcoin in the short term? Well, we're either going to bounce or we're going to go down. Always a new pop and a new drop. I like that. Nice. AVAX and Sol. So Avalanche got our monthly. I don't know what month this is for though, but a monthly open, and our range low come down here about $70. So it's just a couple more dollars away from where we are now. Once again, I imagine we'll probably come down to that area, but regardless, you're talking a couple percent at this point, 4 or 5% between there at the moment. But Bitcoin continues lower. Everything's going to keep dropping with it. So just do want to point out again for everybody that's just joining in, Bitcoin's coming down to the range low that we've been in, that we were in at least for a few months. We re-entered a couple days back pretty bearishly. Did anticipate cycling through the whole range again. And as we're doing that, all the altcoins are coming back into their lows, right? So similar to how we were coming in these lows just a few weeks back, they are all coming back down to these high time frame range lows here. So Algo sitting here at about 70 cents. We get a bounce out of this area. We're looking for this weekly. You got a monthly open target, natural target of your point of control up here at 94 cents, and then a range high about $1.02. I think I just did Avalanche. CRO was holding this golden pocket pretty well during like the majority of the pullback, and then until today, kind of just fell. Today, right now, though, it's pretty much come down to our point of control for the overall range as well. Lose that, and then we'd be looking down towards the range low about 38 cents. Right now, it's about 40. So very dependent on Bitcoin. ETH went over this just a little bit ago, right? Kind of getting a little, not really anything. Yeah, everything's just still kind of on its way down, I think, at the moment. So we do have some support right here at this 3-month, this March open, and this 2-year key level would be the next major areas for me: 29.24, 28.70. Unless we start turning around and start flipping this range high and this yearly key level. After that, we're looking back for this April open and this weekly pivot. Both of those come in about $3,300 up here in this area. Phantom came all the way back down, full retrace back down to our buy zone if met box from a couple weeks back too. So holding right now at a quarterly key level. I've got a 3-month level right above that. Our April open would be our next target in the short term. To see some continuation from Phantom. So just another one coming in. Is just everything's just major support right now. H-bar barely holding on to this range low here, but all in all, still is basically at the range low here. So major support area, similar to where we found support over here right before that run up last. And that's about right at 19.8 cents. Point of control is at 21, monthly open, range high. So I'm just going to cover Bitcoin real quick, right? For everybody that's just kind of coming in at the moment. So last few months, I've been covering this range pretty in depth on live streams daily, TikTok updates, you name it, right? we were looking for a breach of this previous high around 44,400, 500, whatever. We got that a couple weeks back, and we basically shot it up. And our major target up here was this yearly key level. This area right here, just in a clear fashion, that this is basically our line in the sand between us and going back to 60K, 50, 60K. Obviously 50K is right next door to this, but going back to 60K and above, right? We have to clear this yearly key level. At the time, we came right into it. I know that the 200 moving average or whatever, kind of ended up matching up with this at that time. But Magic Internet Money, the other analyst in the leading crypto server, and he's another analyst here on TikTok. He's in here in the chat as well. He, pointed this level out for probably a year ago at this point. But we were looking for this level inconclusively for the last few weeks. And exactly what we got. So we knew the area to really watch for that reaction from. We kept getting the rejection from here as we went up. We came out of this over the weekend. So we had a bunch of, areas down below us that we left, which was a CME futures gap. We left all kinds of things. We ended up closing the quarter. So then we had a new quarterly key level, monthly key level. We had NPOCs. We had a ton of things in this area right here. That was what I called that biddy box for a few days. So we knew we had a lot of confluence with coming back into this range. And when we re-entered it, started closing dailies. And at that point, we really assumed that we were going to rotate through this whole range. Just never know how fast it's going to be. But yeah, so at this point, right, we come down, we re-entered the range, our natural target point of control, so 42, 41.9-ish. We lost that, and from there we got our 2-year key level, which we're barely holding on to at the moment. And from here below us, we got the range low. So this is our major support just below. We really want to see how we react in this area. This has got a bunch of other confluence around it as well. If you were in the trading group last night, Magic and I, we did a full in-depth market analysis, which we do every Wednesday and Sunday night, 9 p.m. for the members. So for anybody that's interested in joining that, having access to all my altcoin setups, Magic's Bitcoin analysis. We also have an order flow specialist in the group as well, order flow and open interest. You guys can join the Discord if you're interested. Really looking for a reaction out of this. See if we get a bounce out of this 2-year key level. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at this range low. At that point, we would have cycled the whole range. And from there, we'll probably be looking to get a decent. We're going to get a bounce at some point around here. We just been going down so much, and these are some major key levels of support coming in. This one right below us, is like I said, range low. Golden pocket of the entire move, down from 33K all the way up to 47K. All kinds of support right in this region. So I imagine we'll get we might mess around with it for a few hours, but interesting enough to note that while we're coming into these lows, all of the altcoins are back at their range lows as well. So very, very similar to how we were over here. Bitcoin was holding the range low. All the altcoins were at their low. Bitcoin ran it up, hit major resistance. All the altcoins are hitting major resistance. We got a pullback, right? Same thing, right? So can we go lower? Of course, for now, right? And then of course, we got lower targets after we break this range, but nothing to be really concerned with until that really starts happening on a closing basis, right? You want to start closing a daily or a 4-hour below this 38. Really, I think it's like 36.6 or something, but yeah, we're going to get a bounce at some point here. And then, like I said, we got our weekly pivot is back up in this region, right? You got 43.7. So to me, we got a really good chance of refilling that this week. Or back testing it. So if anything, I think we're going to see a little rally up towards that region, possibly even get up towards this range high once again, only to just kind of come back down. So that's just an idea at this point, but that's what I would imagine would happen, only because, there's really no reason we wouldn't come down to this range low and cycle through this whole range. So that would be something to pay attention to. And then at the end of the day, unless this range breaks to the downside, this would still just come in as major support, and you should look for, a move back up to the upside there. XRP. So all of the major altcoins are at their range low here. Let me show you here, which we were going over pretty much earlier. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to like a 15 minutes, see what Bitcoin's doing. Yeah, not great, right? Closing below that 2-year key level. So very possible to continue lower until we get back above this. This is a possible little SR flip going on right here, short term. That was on the 15-minute though, so I'm just zooming in to look at that. But let's see here, XRP. XRP is at its super support of 69 cents. You know, and this is the thing, like these times are where, depending on how, you know, your own risk management is, right? You know, this is where you can and, you know, would want to be putting on some risk. What, you know, and what I mean by that obviously is like, this is where you'd want to be, you know, aiming to pick some things up, whatever. I know that it's very scary to do so in days like today because everybody only is looking down at this point. And then, you know, you think that we're going to go to 30K Bitcoin from here. And while that's always a possibility, right? Like it generally, we're going to at least, you know, see a move to the upside to some degree, some form of rally, you know, may not break that high and then whatever. But every single time we've been in this region, 39K, 38K, you know, all the altcoins are in similar areas, right? Down X amount. Everybody's very fearful every single time. And, you know, time and time again, and the only thing that'll change everybody's, you know, mood and whatever right now is just the price changing, right? If the price pumps out of nowhere, you know, everybody will be like, I wish I would have bought. I wish I would have bought. And you may not, you know, be catching the exact bottom right now. But, you know, this is something where XRP is down 23% from where it was on the 28th. If you are just a diehard XRP fan, you know, just like anything else in the market right now, everything's down 20 or 30%. XRP's got a, you know, and then once again, you're at your range low. So you got, you know, a good ways to go to kind of punch up to that range high. That'd be our overall target in the short term. About 87 cents. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's probably, you know, that's a nice little run up there. What's going on? Yeah, 25% almost, right? So, yeah, so, you know, really at the moment, you really want to look to reclaim this range low, come back into the 71, 72 cent, hold that 4-hour daily close, something of that nature. And then you got a natural target back up here of your point of control, about 77 cents. But yeah, I mean, I know it's frustrating for everybody today. You know, if it's tough when you haven't, you know, had this planned in a sense or had an idea of it. Like I said, like, right, like for us, like we were looking at that 47,700 for Bitcoin, and knowing that got rejected, we had anticipated a pretty big, you know, decent little pullback here. For Bitcoin, it hasn't really been that large of a pullback, which is, you know, just the issue is that Bitcoin pulls back and then the altcoins get it twice as bad. And that's just, you know, the unfortunate part of it. But yeah, weeks ago, everything was at the low. It all ran into the high. And then, of course, you know, now we're at these pullbacks. So this is VeChain here, down 34%, possible to go a little lower, right? We still got our point of control. Our monthly key level would be our next level of support right here. We're below this daily level and, you know, not looking to flip it at the moment. So very possible that we see VeChain back at this low 5 cents. And then we've also got our range low down here at about 4. Now, VeChain was one that really took a run up compared, right? So from the 15th of March, it was up like 100%. Yeah, so on the way back, right? Like if we, you know, come down into these levels here, you same targets to the upside. You want to hold that point of control. Looking up the quarterly key level, you got your range high. That's what we're looking at there. VXV. Ran it while the rest of the market was kind of tumbling last few days, ran it right to the range high, straight rejection. Looking back for this point of control monthly key level first, which is about 226, and then down to this monthly open if that doesn't hold. So what would that be, a pullback of about 25? Yeah, that point of control will probably be a nice area to kind of pay attention for if you're looking to pick up any XV, about 226. Litecoin took it down to a yearly key level right here. The range low for Litecoin does come in just below $100. So it's possible to revisit that. But from here, you really want to flip this point of control, 108, and then looking back up towards this monthly open, our 6-month level, our range high at 129. But same thing, this is a pretty big level of support that Litecoin's coming into. Magic. 589 coming in. So once again, just wanted to point out that Bitcoin is coming in a major support, as all the altcoins are too, right? So for anybody that's feeling panicked, can we go lower? Always. But if you held through already, always up to you. Like, it's got to be whatever's more comfortable for you. But do know that similar to how just weeks ago when we were coming into multiple major resistances across the board. This is when everybody's excited. So when our conference for Bitcoin is about to start up and whatever, but major resistances across the board. Major support now is what we're coming into. Whether or not it's the bottom, right, it is yet to be seen. But you're still talking about all your favorite assets right now are 20 to 30% off. So something to think about in that regard. H-bar is right at the range low. Depending on how Bitcoin goes, which it looks, I don't know, it's back at 40, I guess, for a second. If we get like a random God candle out of Bitcoin, do know that all these altcoins are going to at least pop 10, 20% from where they are right now. But that's, yet to be seen, of course. But yeah, everything's at major support. I mean, that's all I can say, right? Like, I updated about 40 of my altcoin charts today. I put them all in the trading group there. Magic and I did a pretty in-depth market analysis last night. We got our next one on Wednesday night. So we just did one last night. We do one every Sunday, every Wednesday night. Cover Bitcoin, basically all the alts we're looking at, the market as a whole. Tonight we got a order flow and open interest classroom for any of the members going on if you're interested in that. And what else we got in here? Let's take a look back at Bitcoin real quick. DXY, I just want to point this out. Jesus Christ. It's like punching 100. Bearish divergence, but I feel like it never plays out. The DXY is just good straight rampage mode. But when the DXY starts pulling back, we'll get some moves out of the market. So Doge with a straight up middle finger to anybody that got in at 18 cents the other day. I'm just kidding, I'm just being funny. Range low is here, right? We ran it up, point of control. Range high was our major target, and then the yearly open pushed up a little bit higher than that. Got the pullback back down to the point of control. For now, looking at maybe going back down to this monthly open, but regardless, for upside, I'd be looking for this point of control to get flipped again. So about 14 and a half cents. You want to start seeing that held at least on a 4-hour closing basis. And then from there, the Dodge. That's a good one. That's just about down to the range low. Hasn't really made it there quite yet. And it may not, right? It doesn't. These don't have to, especially depending on how Bitcoin reacts. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, but it really does come down to that in the near term. I mean, all the altcoins are at these major lows. I can't imagine that they're going to just completely just keep bleeding out without some sort of a bounce short term. And that doesn't mean that Bitcoin needs to bounce. Bitcoin could just chill at 40K and not continue down, and the altcoins will start popping a little bit. Something to look out for there. Smiles, how you doing, my friend? Oh, let's look at Waves. Yeah, Waves was a monster with a monster pullback. All right, so oh God, Waves was, like I say this every time. Waves is the cliche crypto. So the story of waves, began like this, right? Like I said, last time, not last time, because this was actually back in February, but in February, we were looking at this range at the time. This was the entire range right here, range low, right? And similar to how we see a lot of like H bar right now is like dropped out of the range a little bit. And it's, you see them kind of falling out, which once again, they can continue lower, but you want to see that acceptance back in the range, get that closing confirmation. And then from there, you look higher. You got the range high comes in up here. You break that, you come back, you back test your range high for waves, and you take off, right? Next target was your yearly open, basically shot right through that. And then we had a couple of, major key levels up here, your yearly key level, quarterly, got a little pullback, pulled back to your golden pocket. From there, run it back up to the next two quarterly key levels, golden pocket runs it back up. And then we have literally one last level above us, which was this monthly, I think it was, or maybe this was the yearly. S1 R1 runs it up to that golden pocket and then just rally straight into fib extensions, right? So you got your 1272 and this was the 1618. From there, obviously Bitcoin got the rejection. We got the major rejection. This was like 600% in the course of like 4 weeks, 700% rally. Okay, so when you rally 700%, you're gonna get deep retrace. And so far, right, we've probably gotten about 50 or 60. Yeah, major retrace down to the downside, but only from the high, right? Because even from the low of that range entry, you'd still be up 150%. Obviously, most people did not enter there. So taking a look at where it is now is right below us. We've got, to me, I think this yearly key level is probably where we're going to come down to, around that $20. And from there, you'd really want to see how that holds, and it's possible to even come all the way back down to this yearly open. So waves would, at this point anyway, it's just, once again, desperate to just get into waves just to get into waves. Just be aware that even still, it's up 150% from a few weeks ago. It is down 65% now from the high. So, I mean, that's something to consider as well. But this wouldn't be the first thing I jump into personally. But once again, you do whatever you'd like. I would be looking for $20. And then if I see it at 14, like those would be two areas for me. Crypto fan Chris, top 2 viewer. I don't know what that means, but congrats. All right. Are you using TradingView? Yes. What did somebody want to see a second ago? What time is it? Let's take another look at Bitcoin real quick, see how she's holding. Man, just barely, huh? Just closed that 4 hour. Oh, that was 30 minutes ago. All right. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. All right, we're back above our 2-year key level. All right. Just started a new 4-hour candle. Right. So we did close above. Right now we're holding above at the moment. If this is where we kind of get a turnaround here, doesn't really, I mean, we're oversold as a mofo. I'd be looking back towards this point of control. And then, like I said, realistically, over the next couple of days or, even quickly, we could even run back up to that weekly pivot. And then, still possible to come back. I don't see why we wouldn't go to this range low at some point. So even if that's now, right, we just kind of roll over, tag that 38, and then move it on from there. But this, generally, when we re-enter a range like this, I mean, we've already ran through everything else. We already ran through the POC, the EQ. The only thing left is to run it down to the range low, tag that, and then you'd want to see a turnaround. But short term, yeah, I can see us getting a bounce, run up to this point of control area, or like I said, the weekly pivot is an area of interest to me. It's 43.7. Whoa. Woof. Woof Bitcoin. Crypto Quants checkbook, yeah. If anybody's interested in learning how we identify these ranges, points of control, key levels, have access to all my altcoin setups, Magic Internet Money's Bitcoin analysis, and his altcoin setups as well. We do have an academy in there with 20 videos, step-by-step, teaching you how to utilize this. I see somebody asking about TradingView. We teach you how to, you could Google how to use TradingView for sure. But we have a TradingView classroom that's coming out as well, kind of going over the tools and everything that we use in there. And it's all in the Discord server if you're interested. It's in my home page, I guess you could call it. For Leading Crypto is the name of the Discord server. We do hold members only market updates where we went over this exact scenario last week on Sunday. And it basically played out pretty well over the time frame. Last night we did another big update, and it's in the recording section for any of the members that missed it. I would recommend that you give that a view. If you do nothing in the group and just watch those 2 weekly market updates, I think that you'd be in pretty good shape. It's on Wednesday and Sunday nights at 9:30 p.m. Aside from that, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at. We may get a bounce here off this 2-year key level, looking to reflip this point of control. Pretty much we got our weekly pivot up here in this 43, 44K area. Range high, you catch a rejection there, especially if we bounce it from here. I would look to just run it back down to this range low. But we really are in a position where just don't be surprised if we do just kind of roll it over, take out that range low from here, and then continue back upward. Obviously, if we start breaking the range low, closing candles below that, then we got to start looking a little lower. But I wouldn't really get too concerned about that at the moment. I do imagine that this is going to offer at least a couple days of a rebound at some point. So I'll do another live stream tomorrow. I'll probably be on about 3 p.m. ish again. I'll try to be on around that 3 p.m. mark going forward as much as I can. And aside from that, like I said, I got all the updates into the trading group for anybody that's interested in joining that. Otherwise, you can catch me here tomorrow. All right, perfect. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming out. I'll see you again tomorrow. Like I said, I'll try to put out a couple TikToks for you as well. But yeah, we'll keep monitoring and we'll see how things go. Like I said, though, all these altcoins are at range at very, very major supports. Always possibly go a little lower, of course. But yeah, Bitcoin rolling over at this point would only be another 2, 3, 4% to the downside. But yeah, very possible we do get a bounce out of this area right here, right? So just something you can honestly, it's just taking it level by level and just paying attention to these as they come. And yeah, till next time, everybody, have a great evening. Cheers.